I'm Marco, I'm from Italy, Bari, a small city from the south of Italy, Puglia. See, I've studied for the first time at University of Bari. I had my bachelor there in international mediation, which is a branch of languages. And then I moved to Salzburg. You're a junior, you're a young professional, you don't have much, skills, knowledge, so you need to show up. Those of you who are trying to get into the European institution, it's a very hard process and very hard selection.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Frederick here. So today I'm taking you to meet another friend of mine and colleague of mine, Marco, a trainee at the European Commission, and I'm gonna ask him some questions about what led him here, what motivated him to join the European Commission as a trainee, and what are his insights about the work here, what he learned and what he's taking home out of this work at the European Commission, out of this experiencing process. So I'm gonna take you through all these questions and all these points in this little short interview, short talk I had with Marco, and we're gonna explore some interesting points. So stay tuned for the coming minutes. And if you don't know me, by the way, my name is Frederick. I'm an international lawyer with 15 years working experience moving across countries, and in my YouTube channel I share insights about professional and personal development, lawyering, with the hope to help as many people as possible achieve their dreams, accomplish their dreams, or maybe offering some interesting advice for professional development. So check it out. Let's see what Marco has to say, and stay tuned. Here we are with Marco here. Thanks for being here, Marco. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
And we are here to hear about you and to hear about your experience here at the European Commission as a trainee. So first of all, I would ask you to tell us something about you. Who are you? Where do you come from? What have you studied and what brought you here?
Hi guys, everybody. Thank you for first of all, thank you, Frederick, for inviting me. It's a great pleasure to be here on the other side of the screen, because normally I'm a huge fan of your channel. And
okay, thank you very much. Much appreciated.
So, who I am? I'm Marco, I'm from Italy, Bari, a small city from the south of Italy, Puglia. So we are neighbors.
Beautiful region.
Yeah, we could say we are neighbors. Let's say I've studied for the first time at University of Bari. I had my bachelor there in international mediation, which is a branch of languages. And then I moved to Salzburg, Austria.
Salzburg in Austria, okay.
Yeah, Austria, on the west side of Austria, for my master's degree in European Union law for 2 years. I've been there for 2 years. It was a beautiful city, beautiful experience. My first actually international experience. So it was very nice. And then I had this great opportunity to go back to Italy, Milan more precisely, to have my LLM, which is, for those of you who are not experts in law, it's a master in law.
Master of Laws.
Yeah, Master of Laws. And I've been in Milan, in Bocconi, for 1 year and attended different law classes. And then during my LLM, around March or April, if I remember correctly, I applied to the commission, and here we are.
And we met.
Yeah, we met with my great pleasure.
We had a first interview, and then we made it happen.
I was the chosen one.
Okay, very good. No, and I remember of you the first time we met, as I told you already, your eagerness and your willingness to come here and your willingness to succeed. What do you think helped you to make it to become a trainee here at the European Commission? What do you think are the skills, the qualifications, or the competencies that are useful for a trainee, for any applicant to become a trainee at the European Commission?
Well, from my side, I can say, obviously, you're a junior, you're a young professional, you don't have much, skills, knowledge, so you need to show your curiosity, your interest, your willingness to learn and to adapt to a new context, also to an international context. So that was for sure the best quality I had. So I was really willing to come here to know how the commission works internally, obviously, because you always see in the news and on social media, the commission, EU bubble, whatever. So, but internally it's something different, obviously. That was the first thing, I guess, and also the thing that made me successful to pass the selection. Succeed. And secondly, also my adaptability. So the capacity to adapt to different contexts, to different also people you meet. Obviously, there are a lot of people here. It's an international context, so you meet people from many different countries and many different backgrounds, cultures, also studies. You have economists, lawyers, and that's also a great quality you need to have, flexibility, and that's it.
But is there, in relation to what you said, is there a reason, a specific reason that made you apply for a traineeship at the European Commission? Did you think about, for instance, the reputation of the employer, or maybe the international perspective, the fact that maybe going back to Italy, or like if you want to work as an international professional in the future, this could help you? Was there a specific reason
Well,
for
yes.
you to apply?
Well, first of all, of course, as I said, I've been studying EU law, so EU in general. I knew already a bit of the importance of Brussels and of the EU institutions. Obviously, in the field of competition law, which is what we do here, European Commission is a very well-known, institution, a very well-known entity, and it's a prestigious place where to start a career, especially for a young professional. And obviously, importance of the place where we work, I guess, is one of the first things you think of when you apply.
Yeah, sure.
And secondly, I wanted to continue to have this international exposure.
Of course.
I studied in Salzburg.
You started in Austria and then you carried on in Italy in Bocconi.
And that was the step back, coming back to Bocconi. I left the international stage, coming back to Italy, but I wanted to move on and keep staying in international stage. I think Brussels is the best place where to be.
Okay, very, very good point. And what skills or what attitude do you think that an applicant should have in order to succeed and maybe manage to get a stage or a traineeship with the European Commission or with an EU institution based on your experience? What are the skills or the attitude? Because I think it's also a matter of attitude, as you said, and as we said, you were very eager, very willing to do this. I clearly remember you wanted to come and you made it happen, and that is certainly a skill or maybe a quality, but maybe there are other skills or a specific attitude that applicants should have.
Well, that's very important. As many of you, I guess, know. Those of you who are trying to get into the European institution, it's a very hard process and very hard selection. Yeah. So what you need to have is really go straight to the point and be also to insist a lot of times, because also, for example, rejections, failures are part of the process. And I experienced, me personally, twice. I was rejected to the Blue Book Traineeship, but I insisted, and and that's, I think,
somehow you made it happen.
Yeah, I made it happen.
So determination and always keep going despite the flaws, despite the failures.
And sometimes you learn the most from the failures than from the success.
Absolutely, I fully agree. I mean, and that's a great takeaway that I always try to share in my videos. That I mean, you learn a lot from the failures because you remember the failures. The failures stick with you through your life, even in your future, and you rather remember the failures than the successes in your life.
Absolutely.
So it's funny because I like tennis a lot, and if you hear tennis players like Alcaraz or Sinner speaking, they say, I either win or I learn, and that's a great truth.
You never lose.
You never lose. I mean, if failure can be a great teaching experience, so I'm happy that you mentioned it. And another question, moving back now that your traineeship is coming to an end, and you're unfortunately going back to Italy because you managed to find a job in Italian consultancy dealing with transfer pricing issues, but still somehow in the legal field, I understand. Yes. Which is great because somehow it means that your traineeship here at the Commission was useful for you and it improved your professional perspectives. What is the thing or like the set of competencies or the set of skills? Is there anything that you bring with you, close with you in your future and that you feel you want to keep close to you in your future experiences, be them professional experiences or also like in your personal life, something you learned here and that you feel you want to keep for the future and put it into practice for the future?
Yes. What I would like to share is not just, obviously, I've learned many technical skills, many technical aspects of the job of the DG Comp, but what I would like to share, obviously, are the human sides of the experience. So I've learned, for example, that communication is super important, especially when you work in an international team with many people, with many different people, with different attitudes. You need to convey your message, your opinion and proposals maybe in a clear, simple and effective way. Concise way.
Yeah, you're right.
Especially, and this is very important, when you work on complex issues, complex topics, I think communication is key.
It's key.
Absolutely. And this is something you learn along the way, be able to adapt. Because especially, for example, I've worked here in the Commission. The Commission is a huge institution, you have to imagine, with a lot of exposure and a lot of responsibility. So what you need to do is try to adapt to the new priorities that come,
Absolutely.
Maybe change your schedule, change your calendar if new priorities come up, and also try to communicate with your supervisors. And this is
communication again, as you said.
You need to ask questions, ask feedback, and this is super important for your personal and also professional growth, I guess.
And as you said, not being afraid of asking, not being afraid, also like asking for help, which is something, and maybe sometimes as a young professional, you may be afraid of doing. And I mean, I lived it, I experienced it myself when I was a young professional, that I was sometimes a bit scared of asking for help or like asking for guidance, but that's something. I mean, I guess that's also what you
Yeah,
meant.
it taps into everybody.
And I mean, it helps you also to develop better and more genuine personal relationships and professional relationships, because in the end, the professional contacts we have in any work environment are personal relationships. And so you grow also as a human being. And
Yeah, also because I think the most important thing you bring with yourself away when you finish every kind of experience from the university, also a traineeship, stage, whatever, is the network. So if you build strong, solid network, that's the most valuable thing you have.
Absolutely.
Not competencies or stuff like that, but just people relationship you build.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing.
And people understand that they can rely on you.
Of course.
That you're a trustworthy person, and maybe in the future something can happen. It happened to me. I mean, I was a Blue Books trainee here at the European Commission 12 years ago. I generally kept good contacts with the people I worked with, and somehow I made it work. Then I became a EU official, and here we are now.
His story is great. His story is a great story.
Please, I didn't want to get there, but okay, that's very nice to hear. Thanks a lot for being here. We'll be in touch. And well, as I always say in my video, first of all, like there's a call to subscribe to the channel. So
subscribe and like the video.
Channel if you liked it, if you enjoyed it. But also if you didn't enjoy it, maybe
leave a comment so we know it.
Also make comments and whatever else. And then I always leave with the let's say usual conclusion, which is to the next one. Peace.
Bye.